Best for cities would be public transits. We talked about trains, the subway in New York is a great example. Best for islands and coasts, again, ferries, guys. It's funny, you think this is kind of a duh thing, but I had a lot of people when we were going to Amalfi that were kind of inquiring about trains in the Amalfi Coast. And it's like, well, I mean, there's trains. It's easy to get around, but you want to do that in other parts of Italy where you don't have the option to just take a 20-minute ferry and then you can get coastal views of the entire Amalfi Coast. So, you know, real examples, we've mentioned some, but would be trains usually beat flights in under 4 hours. For the US, flights are cars because we're very spread out here. Trains are limited here except for like any corridor. And then Southeast Asia, flights for long distances for sure. Then they also have trains and buses, a lot of buses. Again, like Mexico, a lot of buses. So, you got to do this research, you guys. And then again, islands, just like the coasts, islands and coasts would be ferries. And then again, short flights, like say if you're on islands like Hawaii, you're going to take a short flight to island hop. You could also take a boat. So, you have options there. And travel.
Yeah, Travel Brats pro move. Now, I talked about this in the story, but this is something that is always going to be helpful. Google Maps. I mean, it's amazing. It gives you every single option. That's what I used for the train. That's what I use for, anything. It's good in any place that you go. Like when I've been in Belgium, when Sophia's been in Italy, Google Maps will tell you every little thing. It'll tell you, okay, if you need to change from a train to a bus and then you walk for 5 minutes to get to this or that or anything like that. It'll also tell you about ferries and it will give you every amount of detail. It's the kind of thing where if you don't want to do a taxi or an Uber and you want to figure it out yourself, then Google Maps is going to be your best friend. And obviously, if you've rented a car, which, is its own expense, but sometimes, like Sophia said, you just want the ease of that and you don't want to deal with public transportation, whether it's because it is inconsistent or because you are kind of afraid of it, which I would say everyone should challenge themselves to dive into a public transportation experience because once you click into it, it really is pretty straightforward. That's what I've noticed about most of the cities and areas where I have taken public transportation. It makes sense, but you do kind of have to clock into a different kind of map. So anyway, that's kind of one of the pro moves. I don't know if you have any other tips.
I think it's so true. I loved trains. The only thing I would say is if you have overpacked or say you haven't, but you've done a lot of shopping, bought a suitcase on the side of the street in Florence and filled it up, then you may not want to try and travel with 2 to 3 pieces of luggage on trains, even first class in some of these trains, even if they're nice trains, because Italy, all the trains are beautiful. They're clean, they're nice, they bring you snacks on most of the levels, but sometimes you just can't fit your suitcase anywhere because there's a lot of other people too and they have those small areas. So I would say, obviously, pack light. If you physically can't pack light or you've overpacked, I would say getting picked up by a car or renting a car is probably toward the end of your trip worth it, or like a ferry shuttle. I know we took a ferry shuttle out of Venice. Obviously, you can't take a car from Venice to the airport, but you know what I mean? So, and again, like Natalie said, couldn't say it better. Google Maps is your friend. I know AI is big. A lot of times we've talked about this on previous episodes. You cannot trust AI to do a correct route sometimes. So you always got to check on Google Maps. Again, with the cost too, if you're comparing times, costs, Google Maps will help you pick the least stressful option. We did that all over Italy with which train should we be doing. And then it'll take you straight to the train website where you need to book that direct train. So easy peasy. It's amazing we have it. I don't know how people used to do this without it. Used to plan travel. I guess that, that was the day and age of travel agents where they kind of had all that booked for you. But, if you're trying to do it yourself, it's a great way to do it.